Assalamu alaikum. Today is 10th of October, and 10th of October is the World Mental Health Day. And this is really a significant day in the life of psychologists or therapists or people who work in the mental health field because we get this day to celebrate mental health, to talk about it, and to spread awareness about mental health. And if we refer to the theme of this year's Mental Health Day, it's actually mental health being a human right. Now, we are Muslims, and as Muslims, we have a more holistic concept of mental health. It's not very individualistic, as is the case in the Western psychology. And what does that mean? That means that we believe in the concept of soul. And Prophet ﷺ, he said in a hadith, he said that there is a part of flesh in the body, and if that part of flesh is okay, the rest of the human being in terms of who we are and our personality is going to be great. And that part of flesh is the heart. So we do believe in the concept of soul, and we do believe in the concept of heart. And the heart of Muslims right now is aching, and that's because what is ongoing in Palestine. And as Muslims, it hurts us and it hurts our mental health. And if this year we are talking about mental health being a human right, then we do have to care for the mental health of those innocent Palestinians who are being persecuted. They also have human rights, and they also have the right of having good mental health. We should not have dual standards. We should talk about people who are being oppressed, whose land is being taken, and we should also talk about their mental health and what conflict and violent conflict and occupation does to mental health. I think it's really important to address that. It is because when we talk about Muslim mental health, we are people who believe in a collectivism. We are people who believe in the concept of ummah. Prophet ﷺ, he said in another hadith that the whole ummah is like a single body, and if there is pain in one part of the body, we feel it in different parts of the body. So if one part of the ummah, if Palestine, if it's bleeding, if people are being hurt, people are being persecuted, we would be affected. And the mental health of the Muslims overall, and we are talking about billions of people, that would be affected. So I think that really needs to be addressed. In therapy, we always talk about how therapy is a safe space. And a safe space is a space in which one can express their opinions without having the fear of persecution. Now, if we have to collectively talk about the safe spaces, I think it is about being able to talk what Muslims are going through collectively and being able to process that. I think such kind of spaces are needed where people are not threatened, where people don't fear persecution if they open up. And on the other hand, we do have people like, in my own field, in clinical psychology, we have people like Jordan Peterson who tweets and says Netanyahu, give them hell. Enough is enough. I think it's enough that Palestinians have suffered so much, and people who are influential putting up tweets like this is extremely insensitive and dangerous. And I'm speaking about it because I am a therapist. I work in the field of psychology. So today, as we celebrate the Mental Health Day, I think we need to remember what's happening in Palestine and try to do whatever is in our hands, because it's not only the matter of those people, it's affecting everybody. It's a human right which is being violated. So if we think of mental health now as a human right as well, I can definitely promise you that the mental health of Palestinian people is suffering from a very long period of time, and that needs to be addressed, and we need to talk about that. We need to create those spaces in which we can, and people can come up and they can talk about what they have been through, the traumas that they have lived, and how it has affected their lives. So today, as we are talking about mental health, it's really essential that we also remember the mental health of minorities, mental health of people who are suffering, who are refugees, who had to flee their land, or whose land is under occupation, because these are people who are innocent and their lives are at stake. Another thing which I also wanted to address is that sometimes people they make blanket statements of how what is happening in Palestine, it's because of a Jewish state, or it is because of the Jews. I really don't think so. There is a huge difference between Judaism and Zionism. So what is happening is a part of the Zionist plan and not necessarily Jewish plan, because there are so many Jews, there are so many rabbis, and there are so many people who know the Torah who will say that what is happening in Palestine with the innocent people is not sanctioned and allowed by Judaism. So I think we need to look at that as well, that while we are suffering, we don't blame people who are actually not responsible for what is happening. So we need to make that distinction. I think that's really essential. So that was my message for you, a message of being aware of our mental health, a message of having empathy for others, and a message that we have a soul and that we have a heart, and we need to take care of what is happening within us while trying to make a difference for the people who are suffering in conflict out there. Thank you.